Good morning, good morning, good morning. What is up, everybody? Chart Talk Live brought to you by Xtrades. It is Tuesday, July the 29th. We're getting this session rolling, squared away. Actually, just realized log in brokerage. Seems to disconnect. So is what it is. I want to make sure right. Yeah, that looks better. And let me start it. It's good. And last but not least, that. What's up, Veritas? Good morning. Hope you are doing well. Better than. All right, let's something up. Hang out with me. All right, so uh, now ready to actually get started. What's up, Navy Fun? Good morning to you, Veritas, new trader. Good to see everybody here so far this morning. Hope everybody's gotten their off to a solid start, especially those of you who were able to join the Sunday session this past weekend. Found that beneficial. Again, I'm going to try to continue those the last Sunday of every month to, just kind of have more of a free form, more time, um, that sort of stuff for people to really get their questions in, get their ticker requests in. We can spend more time talking about what I'm actually doing these charts, sort of stuff, versus kind of having to be a little bit more rapid fire the way we need, trying to squeeze this in with our. Awesome, Navy Plum. I appreciate the kind words. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That is the goal, right? Is for folks to get a lot from it and want to come back the next month. So, what's up, E Hall? What's up, Gardle? You all are doing well, also. All right, so let's start to dig into our ES analysis here, get an idea of what we're seeing in the markets in general, as we always do. Get these live streams going. It's actually been, since I really looked at this chart, a kind of busy weekend outside of when the Sunday stream. Let's see how this looks. Um, with a bunch of friends that were down. What's up, Pradeep? Good morning. Good morning. Sure, we can take a look at a firm. Also, if anybody else has any ticker requests or any questions, feel free to go ahead and start dropping those chats as I do our analysis here this morning of what things went on. This is not two current S&P futures all-time high. A little bit overhead there. All right, so what are we seeing here on? So obviously, we're still clearly and very strongly in a buy the market. Let's take a look at a bit of a steeper trend developing on that for the time being. So yeah, things are continuing to trend to the upside. Market's looking as strong as it always has, or I should say, strong as it never has. It doesn't. Or advertise pop up down. Go away. So we're riding this trend to the upside. It is a confirmed trend. It looks like we should try to hold on any dips around 64.29 here on futures. So that could be a good opportunity to buy those dips. eye on things in that regard. Neptune's clearly fully bullish. SMAs are bullish. Everything's trending to the upside. Sorry, get a little water in there. That being said, um, windows of opportunity to the upside and potential resistances look a little bit questionable. I mean, there's pretty clearly a small window there from 64.42 up to 64.57, but it is a pretty small window. I went further too. It's fine. Can't catch all those, so that's good. And I think I'm gonna opportunity to do while we're sitting here working on this chart together. We good to have an idea of where things might go if and when break through this current all-time high on ES, like where that sits right there. So would give us extension targets overhead, so over 64.57, we're looking at 64.78, a couple of good extensions up here in the 65, almost to 40, 65.30, 65.40. And this is kind of our best guess at where market might go. Starts tested levels and resistances. So let's see what E-Hall has. Most I don't have. Trying to. Yeah, I mean, so the question is, waiting for the opportunities to come to you. That is something I constantly tell people. That's what you need to want to get better at trading. Don't chase. Let the trade come to you, and if the trade doesn't come to you, the next setup. Right? Don't get too tunnel visioned on one ticker, especially if it's already starting to heavily in one direction or the other. It is pretty hard to get those trades to work out well. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it certainly sets you back on your heels as far as um, your not only your entry but your trading psychology as well. I would say. So yeah, I mean I say it all the time, all that if something's running, be patient, wait for your setup that you want to enter on, and when that setup comes, don't be afraid to execute. See it all the time. I know I've said it recently with like the spy plan. If it runs right out of the gate and hauls ass up to one shortly after the market open, I'm like, listen, I'm not going to chase this move. It was way too close to the open, and it's just not personal trading style. So let's just sit back and wait and see if it traces all entry or some other kind of confluence that looks favorable for an entry to push back up through some of those that we tested out of the gate. I'd say, 8.5 times out of 10, if you wait for that um, opportunity to come to you instead of chasing it, right? It's probably going to work out a lot. So, yeah, I think that's a good plan. I'd be happy to take a look at Apple, although, pretty much I could tell you that Apple's under 215. Apple hates life, it seems. So, and if there's a particular silver name you want me to take a look at, just post the ticker. SLB. Saw that. Yo, what's up, Chris? How are you, brother? Good morning. Hope you are doing well, my friend. All right, so we've talked about ES. Let's get through some of our trade plan recaps real quick. We did a handful over the weekend on the Sunday stream. This plan place yesterday, first day to trade it. I should do that. So this is an interesting one here on Galaxy. Definitely looks to be breaking down. It was in a very strong, confirmed ascending channel. and looks like we absolutely have those trend lines nailed. And how can you tell that we have those trend lines nailed? Well, after we broke down below that ascending trend, what did we do? Came back up, gave it a back test and rejection. Now pulling back below the put entry. So this one is looking quite good. Short on, especially if the market's starting to pull back a little bit. Galaxy could certainly follow suit. Um, so how do you make any money trading ES? Um, no, that's not really how it works, Gardel. So you're not really ever buying a share of ES, right? You're just kind of going long and short on it. It's all heavily margin based. So if you're talking about ES, or what I would recommend, especially first starting out, MES, which is the micro um, ticker for ES. Essentially, what you do is you take a long or a short position, depending on, and so what you need to do in order to get into that. Well, no, that's the wrong way to say it. So, depending on brokerage that you're using, there are going to be requirements about how much money needs to be in your account to trade ES or MES. If we're talking about ES, for example, most of the um, margin based brokerages for um, trading futures are going to require a minimum $500 to trade in your account to just trade one position on ES, or $50 to trade one position on MES. So you just take ES, divide by 10, I mean, or MES and multiply by 10. And then for every point of movement, we're looking at either $50 or $5 as far as what your profit looks like as that trade for or against you, right? So let's say you take a position on MES and it goes up 20 points, that would be $100 profit to you with no theta concerns or anything like that. So it's actually quite a great way to trade, especially day trade when markets open, and execute the spy plans, for example, with it. So if you want more information on that, just let me know. But yeah, it's not. I think I think you're thinking you have to buy one share and it barely moves at all. So why would I ever do that? And that's not really how it works. It's really more, are you long or short, and how many points gain or loss are you realizing, and then multiply by 5 or 50 if you're talking about um, MES or ES, and then you could also consider NQ or MNQ, which is QQ futures. So MNQ would be $2 a point, but it also moves a lot faster. And NQ would be $20. But again, moves a lot faster. So yeah, absolutely. If you have more questions, please feel free to ask. So Galaxy breaking to the downside again. This one is good short going into the day today. Also did Reddit during that Sunday live stream. First day of that being action, and really kind of sideways, as was the market yesterday. So no there, nothing to see here. Baba, we did this one, did gap up, did give us some back tests of the call entry. One was rather quick after smaller. See it. It didn't make it all the way back to the call entry. Pretty close. Got this open, run straight up to P1 and rejection, almost back down to the call entry, or pushed back up again. But here you see, right, and this is a great example actually. Just asking about, right? You don't chase this move out of the open. Wait for something like this or this, get in, then you're in much better shape, right? So going after this, you're letting your emotions take control of your trading decisions. Focus on the charts, let the setup come to you. Doesn't on to the next ticker, or some days you just don't wind up in the right spot at the right time and you don't take a trade, right? Don't feel like you have to have a open trade or be opening trades every day that the market is open. Market's always going to be here tomorrow. or Monday if it's the weekend. Um, so I think that's a really big problem for a lot of new traders is just learning that patience and I've got to do this now or I'm never going to get another chance to make money in the market. And absolutely. So yeah. Anyway, food for thought. So that is Baba, and I think we fourth trade plan. Yeah, Chipotle. This one's moved to the downside. Does look to be confirming below the put entry. This is one that I'm starting to get interested in buying some shares on. Shall see. I'm trying to be pretty choosy with on this. I do take entry on shares for certainly that. And then let's get to some of our trade plans from our pre-market streams last week. Dell, this one is cruising after giving us the break above. It's easier to see on the 5-minute. Yeah. Gave us a little bit of a break above, dipped back below. Definitely confirmed the break there. Has continued up. Now we're at P1 and P plus going into trading day here today. So this Dell trade plan is just cruising right along after that confirmed break Friday. We're at what the rats if you following this plan on Dell. We also did Meta. Meta did give a note yesterday. Well, it did give us a break yesterday. Failed real hard. Pulled back into that NTS buy pressure though and pushed nicely off of that and continues to push here pre-market, but that is one I'm gonna want to. We did this one last Tuesday. It did play out for some downside targets, but after that, its ability to reach these upside targets after giving us what looked like some pretty good breaks has been not good. I'll have to take a look at Meta a little bit more. Not happy with how the upside of this trade plan is playing out. So I will analyze that further before we do this. Meta. Certainly say hold off on getting. I'm cutting in and out badly. Okay, my bad. Anybody else getting that? That's on the YouTube side of things. That could be an S issue. Check my settings. Is it better if I talk a little bit closer to the mic? I have a sound gate on, so it's not like picking up every little thing in the room. Let me do this actually. Let me take that off. Just the mic sensitivity. Sec. Oh yeah. It's down here. What's that? Thank you for saying something. It's death. Cool name. Just gonna trash this for a second. That's fine. So you should hear me pretty clearly now. I am gonna notch this mic volume down a little bit, so hopefully it doesn't catch, every fan and every little noise that's happening in the room. So let me know if that's better. It's deaf. My apologies. I just saw your message. And sorry for the lack of audio quality there. Certainly not my intention. Capture clips during a recent check. I don't care. Stop reminders. I don't want to know about that clip. Okay, yeah, I think it was an OBS filter there. So, my apologies. Okay, cool. Yeah, it was that noise gate filter that I was using to try to keep things from being too noisy in the background and stuff. So, all right, cool. Thank you for letting me know. I will leave it turned off, that noise gate. Okay, so Meta, we just talked about. I think that's all of our Tuesday plans, and then Thursday plans. We did coin. This was put in place right here. Was pretty much a no trade for the most part. Friday did give us a little bit of a dip below, tried to fight above. Let's take a look at this on the 15. Again, don't get too locked into one time frame. So yeah, it gave us what was looking like a confirmed break below there on Friday, but then gave us the opportunity to course correct here at 396 on that test of resistance at our stop loss average down. And then yesterday opened up below that stop loss average down and pushed for PT1 plus and was back testing PT1 as resistance there, but seems to be climbing over it this morning. So coin might try to make a little bit of a recovery move here today by the looks of it. 389.47 with the 200 SMA coming down overhead here on the 15-minute could be a good spot to try to reshort it. If you get stopped out on any runners you're holding on that one. We did AI. This one dropped straight out of the gate. This was, again, would have been a trickier one to trade, but did give us the break below, the back test down. But again, right, if you're chasing on that candle, you're in trouble. If you wait for the back test, you're in great shape and you're getting the maximum reward area on your trade as well. That's another thing to keep in mind. So there's your back test rejection, moves down and looks to be trying. In fact, did get PT2 there yesterday for puts. Is coming up on this longer term trend line and does seem to be holding it. So that would be a very interesting level to watch here at 25.80. We could see AI bounce as long as that's holding. If that breaks below, I think it opens up significant room to the downside. And oh no, I think, did we get all of our? Yeah, this wasn't. I haven't done MicroStrategy in a while, right? Or did we do this on last Thursday's stream? I forget. Ah, well, since you just asked about it, it's just the MicroStrategy is back in our trade plan range. And with the way this is set up here on the 15-minute, I actually like it a little bit better if we break over 416.50. That would clear out, sorry, I had to yawn there. Would clear out the SMAs and a number of other resistance points that would really open up room to the upside. So yeah, I would say just follow this plan at this point. Easy. All right. So let's take a look at some of these ticker requests. We had E-Hall in here. First thing, asking for me to take a look at Apple. Well, let me ask you this, E-Hall, because I'm not going to be able to do both. I want to kind of spread the love if I can. I did have one person DM me who normally joins these, but said he wasn't able to make it this morning. I do kind of want to take a look at it, which was Uber, but do you have a preference between Apple or SLV? Okay. We'll go with Apple then. These. That's kind of old news there. All right, let's get these levels cleaned up. Let's see if we can't figure out what to do with Apple. Also, quick reminder, Apple does have earnings, what, Thursday, I think? Yeah. So keep that in mind. Again, I've said it in the chats, Apple seems to just hate life above 215 right now. Let's take a look at this though. Let's zoom out a little bit. It has been riding. I wonder if it's still though. It might not be. Nah, yeah, it's been holding this what looks like a pretty good trend there. Since for about 2 weeks now. It was riding the 200 SMA on the hourly for quite a while, but I think that yeah, it's still holding above that. I take that back. I was gonna say I think it might have lost that, but I was wrong. And definitely a bit of a symmetrical triangle pattern here, looking to pick a direction. possibly before. I mean, it would almost have to with just the angle of these trend lines. It's going to have to slip through this one way or the other. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But let's come up with some plans on this. Yeah, good call, Chris. This has been a ticker that I am very, very happy I do not have any money attached to at the moment. um, it's going nowhere or chopping in a weird volatile range. It's just not price action on it's just ugly AF. All right, so what do we want to do with Apple? I'm very interested by this double top here. It's not a level I have charted at the moment. That's not to say that I have every level under the sun figured out here on Apple, but I do want to take a look at this, see if we can validate it. Double top isn't quite enough for me, at least. I want to see some real strong testing on both sides of this line. Got some more resistance back there. Yeah, I can use it as support too. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so if we can break over that double top, I think it's worth taking a shot at going long. So then the question becomes, where are our targets? There's also a really nice fair value gap here. Is that an earnings report? No. Well, yeah, actually, probably was their earnings report, although it's not listed there on the chart. Normally, TradingView will show you that. I don't know why. Whoops. Oh, no, that wasn't an earnings report. All right, sorry. Got a little bit into the weeds there. Just taking a look at this price action again real quick. Okay. All right, so yeah, pretty decent fair value gap to the upside if it can break over 215.80 by the looks of it. I think I have this weekly level a little high. I think it needs to be right there. I think our real first target is probably sitting right about here, 222.83. I could certainly see it making a move up over that or to that to really kind of close up that fair value gap. But then the next price target, a little bit tighter there. Just want to make sure there's not another level right about here that we need to be mindful of. I think there is actually. So I like those three targets. Takes us back up to this top prior to the big drop. Oh, this must have been, yeah, that was good old liquidation day. Great buy the dip day. So then, last question is, where would be a smart stop loss level on this? Kind of eyeballing this 212.66 level. Let's take a look at how it's treated that recently here. And 212.66 might actually be a touch lower. This looks pretty clean to me. Right there at 212.39. Small adjustment on that level. All right, that looks like a solid upside plan, I'd say. Decent risk reward. Price targets are a little bit squeezed together, but that's okay. To the downside, Yeah, we've got a level, and again, maybe just a small adjustment on this existing level. I don't want to oversaturate my chart with support. Oh, I had two levels right there together already. It's kind of weird. And let me brighten this up a little bit so I can see it better. Yeah, that looks like that would open a pretty decent window of opportunity that should take us down to right about here. 207.53. Stop loss for this downside trade plan, I'd have it here to 11.49. Next targets, where are those? Yeah, I like that move. So it kind of does open up more room if it does break below 207.53. I think that below that opens up room to 201.67. Okay, we got our plan. Oops, I didn't mark the entry here for the downside. My only question is, can we or should we give that downside plan any more room? I think the answer is no. There's just too much chop in this range, and I don't want to have anybody following these plans get stuck in a constant slow burn, theta burn scenario. That's just not the way we want to trade. So let's get our trade plan set up here. Whoops. A little trigger happy on the decimal there. Okay, cool. So let's clean this up. Need to do that. That looks good. All looks good. So here we go. Here is the Apple trade plans. Risk reward pretty decent on both sides of this. Obviously having to give it a lot of room to work things out to the upside, but I do believe over 215.80, if it does break over that, Apple's going to stop, I should say, or was what I meant to say. It's going to stop fiddle farting around and actually going to probably make a move if it can break that. So, dang it, that's not what I wanted to do. Copy link, let's go. Here is our Apple live stream plan. And get this posted for YouTube as well. And get this posted over in the Elite chat. Grab our link. Trading hours. That's all good. We'll give it till next week, which would be Tuesday the 5th. All right, so let's talk through this one last time and then I'll get to the next trade plan. What are we looking for here on Apple? We're looking for a break over 215.80 to finally get things moving to the upside here on Apple. If it can break over that, I would be looking for targets at 220.72, 222.83, and 225.49 with a stop loss average down at 212.39. To the downside, I'd be looking for a break below 209.83. That should give us targets at 207.53, 204.62, and 201.67 with a stop loss average down at to 1149. Those are your Apple trade plans, upside and downside. Be ready to go. All right, so let's take a look at what we had next on the list. Very happy to help there, E-Hall. It's what I do. I really enjoy working on these with you folks. All right, so let me get back up to the beginning here. We got one for E-Hall. We talked about ES. Talked about silver. Well, we went with Apple over silver. Order filled. Take a look at Walmart. Sure, Owen. Let's take a look at Walmart. Walmart, coincidentally, looks like it's old trade plan levels here. I forget when we last did a Walmart plan. Maybe I've got that marked on the chart. Yeah, I'm not going that far to try to figure it out. All right, well, let's make some adjustments here. Don't want to be too influenced by my prior plan. It was a nice run off the put entry, though, for what it's worth. Things have rolled over bullish for the most part on NTS. SMAs are a little bit bearish, but curling to the upside, so 200 just needs some time to catch back up with 333 and perhaps cross back above where it should be if we want good bullish momentum on this. All right, so where do we want to take a shot at Walmart? Oh man, I shouldn't have said that. Or wait, no, Walmart was a stabbing, not a shooting. I felt, it's like, oh man, that was bad choice of words for a second there, and then I was like, oh wait a second, that wasn't a shooting. Still, tragic nonetheless. I just didn't stick my foot in my mouth the way I thought I did. Interesting rejections up here around 99.15 on up to 99.34. The question is, which one of those is really the better level? Yeah, I'm thinking we're looking for something as far as a first target goes up here around 99.21. Let's see how that tracks here. Yeah, I like that. Next question, or at least one I want to figure out real quick while we're here. Stop loss average down. I would say, yeah, sitting right about here. Below that, holding and continuing to push to the upside certainly looks iffy. Second PT right here at 100.09. Third target, that becomes the next question. Earnings gap on that drop down. But I'd be surprised if it just runs straight up through that. Yeah, we've got a good level right here at about 101.29. That, to me, looks like it would be a good spot to finish taking profits on this upside trade plan to the downside. Looks like I've got some old fib extensions here, and again, those fib extensions not as accurate as established support and resistance. I am kind of interested in, yeah, I think this 95.70 level is just a little bit higher. right about there. Also 200 SMA, NTS flag right there, so that gives us a lot of confluences to break. That if they did break, I certainly would be looking for a downside move. I think that can take us down as far as 94.64. Stop loss, average down. Yeah, definitely put it right there at 96.61. Second target to the downside. Seen a couple of tests of support this level, but I'm not totally convinced on it. Yeah, now I am. Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. I like that. Second price target. Third target. Where is that? There's a small. No, I take that back. It has been filled. I was going to say there's a small gap to fill down to here at 92.46, but that's already happened. Yeah, there is a level right here at about 92.44. I'm going to make a small adjustment to this level right here. 92.42 we'll call it. I think that makes for a good third price target. So let's lock this in. Come on. There we go. And 242 stop loss at 96.61. Pull. And let's make a quick adjustment to this offset. All right. Looks good. Okay, so here comes the Walmart live stream plan coming at you. And let's get this posted over in the Elite chat. Lock this in here. I just realized I forgot to save my template for the first plan we did for Apple, but I'll go back and fix that. No big deal. Tuesday live stream plan 2, save, yes. Regular trading hours. Let's get our alerts going. All right, so what are we looking for here on Walmart? We are looking for a break over 98.10. That should give us targets at 99.21, 100.09, and 101.29 with the stop loss average down at 97.19. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 95.82. That should bring targets at 94.64, 93.68, and 92.42 with a stop loss average down at 96.61. Those are your Walmart live stream plans. go forth and get after them. All right. So let's take a quick look. I'm not going to be able to do any more plans with the time we've got left, but see if I can't take a quick look at some of these other ticker requests. I just got to Walmart. MSTR, we already shared our prior trade plan on that, so I would say just run that back. You've got the info there. It's just D. TSM, we can take a quick look at it. Let's tell you if I can make heads or tails of what's happening here on TSM. Was watching this and somehow I missed my alert on this break to the upside. Does look like it might be setting up a head and shoulders here. Kind of seeing a shoulder there, head there, potential shoulder there. Neckline would be something like this. So this could be breaking down actually. So I would say below 242.07 should or might, I would say should, try to make a move down close to 238. Call it, because this 200 SMA is going to continue to kind of inch its way higher. Probably somewhere around 239, I think would be a good price target. And I would keep my stops on that somewhere around 242.93. So hopefully you jotted those levels down. If you need me to say those one more time. What's up, baby Yoda? Good to see you here this morning, brother. Hope you're doing well. So just to recap that, again, I would say as long as it's holding below 242, looks good for a move down to probably about 239. And again, I would hold my stop loss there at 243. So pretty good risk reward on that trade. Indicators tend to agree with everything I just said. So that's just a quick take on TSM. And again, this right shoulder's not great. So this I may be reaching a little bit, calling that a head and shoulders pattern. So put that in the for what it's worth category. All right, we are getting close to 10 minutes out from market open. I do need to go get to work on the daily SPY plan so we can get that posted for everybody in the elite chat. So I do want to thank everybody for joining me this morning. We will be back Thursday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with another pre-market Chart Talk live session. If you haven't had a chance to watch the Sunday stream, please go to the Xtrades YouTube, give that a watch. Again, I'm going to try to do those at least once a month, the last Sunday of each month, and we'll have a lot more time to look at and work through everything on those sessions, as well as just answering some general questions. So with that being said, I want to thank you all again for joining me, as we always say here on Chart Talk Live. Chris, we need to get your daughter's recording so we can add that to the soundboard. Plan your trades and trade your plans. Go out there and get some green. Keep those wins big. Keep those losses small. Remember, we're looking for profits, not perfection. So go out there, make that money. I will see you all in the chats, and I will see you back here Thursday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, take care.